Hi, I'm Peter Haddock and I'm here at Highways UK with my great friend Helen. Getmapping, Helen, is where you're from, and last time we spoke you've been travelling around the whole of the European country mapping that. But when I spoke to you earlier, I really wanted to talk about UK infrastructure.
Sure.
We're at a UK show here and we've got all these different challenges like autonomous vehicles coming in the future, EV charging spaces. We want to get more sustainable transport. So even in the town I'm with, they're putting in a cycle lane at the moment.
Yeah.
But all of this change in the road network and what's going on actually leads us to some challenges about where we can put things.
That's right.
Is the right safe distances? How high are things like pavements? But now you are telling me that you're tackling that. And tell me a little bit about it.
That's right. So between the aerial stuff that we do and more importantly the mobile mapping, where we collect street furniture, if you like. So we drive along, we capture 360-degree imagery, and we capture point cloud, which is very precise measurements, if you like. So it's really good for understanding exactly where street furniture fits and where it is, how high pavements are, where obstacles might be, and so on and so forth. And even things like how wide is a footpath, how high is a footpath. And that's really important when it comes to councils trying to figure out green space, for example. Can we create more green space here? Should we take some green space from here because it floods? Should we, all those kind of decisions have been quite difficult in some ways in the past, but now they've got very, very precise maps, if you like, of exactly where things are. Very important, as you said, for autonomous vehicles as they're coming out. Because who needs a map that shows, I don't know, a street furniture of some sort of bus stop that's halfway in the road, and or something. So for autonomous vehicles, having more accurate information, like within 10 millimeters, we're getting. So these are maps that show you within a 10 millimeter sort of area exactly where something is.
Right.
So it used to be something like 50 meters, even several meters. So if it was a power pole, for example, it could be within a metre or so of that area. Now it's within 10 millimetres.
Wow, that is
massive.
That is a tiny space.
Yeah.
But we're also looking at the challenge that we've got. It's been in the news a lot. We're talking about the transition to net zero here at the conference.
Absolutely.
As well. And EVs and the charging capabilities of EVs. That's also a big thing, isn't it? Where you're looking at where the power can be and the pavement as well.
Yeah, absolutely. And we do a lot of work with mobile mapping, helps a lot there, but also aerial also helps as well. Because when you get really high resolution aerial photography and you match that with the ground detail of exactly where something is, people can actually plan, and we drape over information to show where power lines are and things like that. So it means that making the decisions on where an EV base should be a lot easier to actually come up with.
And of course, when you're mapping out actually where the infrastructure needs to be, channeled in and things like that, then we actually know the accuracy of that when we're on the ground, when we're digging and things like that. And with these levels of accuracy, what I think is really exciting is you have the technology that actually maps over that. So you're giving that overall map to the client in the first place. That means that can go to the designer, the surveyor, the engineers to design those solutions in that 10 millimeter accuracy level. But also that then goes and takes that design that goes into 3D machine control to dig it and to put things in the right place, and also can match with ground penetrating radar to see everything. So really what you're doing is so clever that we've got all of this accuracy above ground, from the bird's eye view, from the view of the pathway, all underground as well with the technology. And so that's really, really cool. But also you said to me you're doing a lot of flying, folks, in the future as you move forward, because the demand is now there with the capabilities of new drones as well to map cities in a much better way from the sky. And you're going to map well over 100 of them, I think.
We are. In fact, the last time we spoke, we
Yeah.
talked about the fact that we'd captured the whole of Greater London
Yeah.
at 10 centimetre resolution, which is very accurate.
Yeah.
Well, now we've gone one step further than that.
Go on.
We've done 5 centimetre now.
5
Yeah,
centimetres?
I know. So we launched a flying program. We've been talking about it for the last year, but we launched it this flying season.
Yeah.
We captured 26 cities this year
Yeah.
at 5 centimetre.
Yeah.
Actually, maybe a few more than that, actually, but we mapped a whole bunch of cities, and we did that as a bit of a proof of concept.
Yeah, yeah.
And we have found that the usage scenario is phenomenal. Everybody wants it. It's
Yeah.
amazing. Engineers, as you say, construction, so on and so forth, looking at pre-planning, post-planning, the whole lot. You've now got a bird's eye view with hugely accurate detail of things like roof lines. You can
Bins. Everything.
yeah, solar companies are using it to
Yeah.
understand where all the flat roofs are, but seeing the detail of the roof
Yeah.
and understanding where people like Tesco are using this data for, making sure when they send somebody out there, they know exactly what the roof looks like,
Yeah, yeah,
and things like that. It's amazing, all the different applications.
And what's really good about that is when you've got that information, you know where to go, what equipment you need, the slopes, everything like that,
Yeah.
data, so that you've got all of the parts you need
Exactly.
to go
Ahead
and do
of.
something. And when you're in an inner city environment,
Yeah.
that is absolutely critical
Critical.
to the productivity and efficiency.
Yeah.
But, you know, it's also adding to the ability to capture some of the areas that are maybe underutilized
Yes.
or maybe have opportunities that businesses didn't realize.
Well, also when you combine that data,
Yeah.
and as you said, we're doing 100 cities. The plan is
Yeah.
we've just launched this year, but from next year we're looking at doing 100 cities across the UK at 5 centimetre.
Yeah.
And that coupled with the ground.
Round at 10
Yeah,
millimeters.
and we map the two together, so
Yeah.
you get a very, very rich data set that's invaluable, really. It's amazing.
And the whole point, folks, is it is available because Getmapping put it all together, and people can say to you, look, I just want that set area, I
Yeah.
just want this bit
Yeah,
area,
they can pick and
and
choose.
they can talk to you about getting access to that.
Yeah.
And that means you don't have to send out another surveyor with another drone. You don't have to do any of that, and you're
Yeah.
using the latest Leica Geosystems equipment to get that 10 millimeter accuracy as
That's
well.
right.
So people know it's reliable data.
Correct.
And it's correct data.
Really, really accurate. It's engineering grade data sets. So, and it's about the extractions from that. So, gone are the days where we say, "Here you go, have a disc."
You figure it out yourself.
Yeah, knock your socks off. Now it's like, what do you need? What's the drawings, etc., and we provide that end resulting data set, if you like, in CAD drawings or whatever it happens to be.
Yeah.
And that's why I was talking earlier about, we can provide a map that shows you exactly where all the power lines are, for
Yeah.
example,
Yeah, yeah.
as well as where all the street furniture is, as well as where all the lighting columns are. All of that sort of stuff we can just provide. That's it.
And so it's all there, and you can see it, and you can see it in different 3D, and
Yeah.
you can click the buttons and say, right, I want to just see
Yeah.
the bins.
The
I like
bins.
the bins, folks.
The
Just see
bins.
the bins or whatever,
Yeah.
or the power lines.
Yeah.
And so there it is, folks. Gosh,
Yeah.
I thought you were busy last time I spoke to you. Now, technology, the advancement and the investment you are making
Yes.
in that latest equipment is really changing the way we can do things. Great to see you here.
Thank
Great
you.
to see how we're going towards an autonomous future with the right information, how we're going to charge our cars, also how we're going to get those green spaces, and how we're going to walk on the right kind of pavement
Exactly.
later on, and get our cycle lanes in as well. Great to see you again, Helen. Take care.
Thank you.
Cheers.
Thank you, Susan.